Hi guys, and welcome back. I decided to do my first vlog today, and I really kind of was like, I want to vlog, but then I kind of was like, I don't know what kind of topics to vlog on, or what to do a vlog about. And so I didn't really know if I was going to do one anytime soon, but I honestly am doing this vlog in light of the recent school shootings in Connecticut, where 26 people died, including 20 children. And I'm not doing a video in tribute, honestly, to the children or to whatever. I'm not trying to do a video about the school shooting, but something that has been talked about a lot that I've been noticing on news and on Facebook and on the internet in general is the issue of mental health and mental illnesses. And there's a lot of people, when something happens like this, or a tragedy happens in general, they like to blame mental health issues, mental illnesses, and they're like, oh well, this person's mentally ill. And I had a friend actually post on Facebook today, making a statement of people who suffer from mental illness should not own guns. And I understand her view in the sense that sometimes people who have mental illnesses can be a danger to themselves or to others, and in which case I think that, maybe they shouldn't. But to make a statement saying that all people who have mental illnesses shouldn't own a weapon is ridiculous to me, and is really closed-minded in my opinion. And I'm doing this video because I do suffer from mental illnesses. I have 3 different anxiety disorders, and I suffer from clinical depression. My anxiety disorders are, I have social anxiety, and I have a generalized anxiety disorder, and I also have a mild form of OCD. And I grew up with these mental illnesses. I was first diagnosed with clinical depression when I was 8 years old, and I was diagnosed with social anxiety as an 8-year-old. The generalized anxiety disorder was not diagnosed until I was in middle school, and then the OCD was diagnosed in early adulthood. And but I have suffered from mental illness for pretty much my entire life. I'm 29 now. I'll be 30 in a month, like a month from tomorrow. And it bothers me so much that people blame so much on mental illness. And like, I don't know, honestly, the full mental health history of this past school shooter, and I don't know the mental health history of any previous school shooters, really, or things that, these events that are perpetrated by these people. I don't know if mental health issues, mental illnesses played a role in it, and I mean, sure, they maybe did. And I understand that there are multiple mental health issues, but at the same time, I feel like people are labeling, in some sense, they're labeling people who have mental illnesses as like all in one category, And I know people who make comments that, oh well, this person had a mental illness, so obviously, it's not that surprising that they did this, or they, committed this tragic event. And it bothers me because it's like, I have never been someone who's exceptionally violent. I had anger management issues when I was in middle school. I went to anger management counseling, and I learned how to deal with, kind of my own anger, I guess. I'm not really sure it's a mental health issue, though, or a family issue, because honestly, my family background isn't that great. I had a really bad relationship with my dad growing up, and I'm not really going to go into it in this video. Maybe I'll speak about it at some other point in another vlog, but I don't want to make this video ridiculously long or ridiculously heavy either, and I know this video is going to be pretty serious. But I mean, I was taught as a child to be angry and to hate other people. And, like, I don't hate people. I love people. I am a Christian. I go to church every Sunday, and I really do believe in God, and I do believe that my faith has helped me in life. I was on medication for my anxiety and for my depression for years, and I've actually been off my medication now for a year because it was deemed by a psychiatrist that my mental health issues were all considered manageable. I could cope with them fine. I could deal with them on my own. And honestly, I wasn't a fan of taking medication. I felt like that it affected me negatively. Yeah, sure, I felt calmer in the sense that, you know, my anxiety wasn't bad and my depression wasn't as bad as it could get. But honestly, I still had anxiety and I still felt depressed. It just kind of took the edge off. But what it did do was it kind of made it so like when I'm not on medication, it's not all the time, but there are times where like my mind will race. Like I will have 100 things go through my head at the same time. And the medication kind of quieted all of that racing. But in doing that, you know, it kind of killed my creativity at the same time. I like to write stories for fun. I don't publish. I'm not planning on publishing, but I do write stories. And I couldn't write while I was on medication. I couldn't think clearly enough to come up with story ideas or to write a story that could flow for several pages at a time, and I couldn't do it. And that killed me. That I couldn't, you know, be creative, that I couldn't use my brain in some senses because of the medication I was taking. And so I did see a psychiatrist for a while, and I did wean off medication and to the point where I completely stopped medication. And honestly, without medication, I do have times where I get really, really anxious, but I am better at self-calming now. And I know that there's things that I can do that will calm me down, and yes, that might be weird to other people, but it's how I cope, and I don't do it all the time. You know, I don't do it every single day. And with my depression, it's the same way. The holiday season, especially for me, has always caused, like, anxiety in me. And I think it's because, honestly, like, just there's so much that goes into the holidays. Like, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of, you know, running around and being busy and focusing on different things, you know, on other people, and buying Christmas presents and wrapping things and trying to figure out everything. And it kind of, I think, stresses everybody out, but when I get stressed out, it causes my anxiety to flare up. And so during the holidays, like, I know I'm going to feel anxious, and I know I'm going to have issues with depression. I've lost a lot of people in my life, including my younger brother, who died in 2006. And I've had 3 people commit suicide in my life. So the holidays are depressing to some extent to me, and yet at the same time, I recognize that Christmas is the time of year where we celebrate, you know, the birth of Christ, and I think that's great, but it doesn't always help with my anxiety or my depression. And I just feel like, I don't know, there's different degrees of mental illnesses, and there's different people react differently to mental illness. And, you know, maybe the shooter in Connecticut suffered from a mental illness of some sort, but I don't want people to label all people with mental illnesses as someone who's going to perpetrate, you know, crime or go out and murder small children, because I know people with mental illnesses who are perfectly friendly, law-abiding citizens, and it just drives me crazy to know that so many people, I think people just want to find something to blame. And it seems like there's 2 categories right now after this past school shooting. where it's the people who they're blaming, lax gun control laws, and then there's other people who are blaming mental illness. And, do I think that has anything to do with gun control? Personally, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't think that gun control is going to stop somebody who wants to commit a crime from committing a crime, personally. Maybe they won't have access to, like, high-powered weapons, and that might save some lives. But I think that, honestly, even if this man did not have any guns, that he could have still committed a crime. Maybe he wouldn't kill as many people. I don't know. Does this man suffer from mental illness? Possibly. I don't know. But to say that he did these things only because of mental illness, I don't know. It kind of bothers me, because I think people use the term mental illness as a huge, huge umbrella. There are people who are crazy and who are homicidal or psychopaths or sociopaths, and they're labeled as being mentally ill. And then there's people who have, things where it's like depression or anxiety, and they're labeled as mentally ill. And, honestly, the people who have anxiety and depression might not be as dangerous as the people who are homicidal psychopaths. And, I think I just wish that there was more of a, more clarity, I guess, in people's ideas of, what are they saying? Because not all people who suffer from mental illness are a danger to other people. And, I do believe that, school shooting in Connecticut was tragic. But at the same time, to just be like, oh, well, he suffers from mental illness, and it's like open and shut case against this person, that, oh, well, they were crazy because they suffer from mental illness. It just bugs me, because it's like, from what I can tell, this person was always like a quiet, law-abiding citizen, and then one day they snap, and they go on a shooting rampage, and I feel like now everybody's focusing on mental illness, and I don't want people to have a stigma because they suffer from mental illness, just because, they have this label. But, I don't know. Who knows? I guess it's good that people are talking about mental illness now, but, I don't know. I guess I just hope that people will find more clarity and better understanding of mental illness in general, and I think that's going to be just the end of this first vlog, because I don't really want this video to be any longer. If you guys have any personal questions about my anxiety or my depression, feel free to ask in the comments, and I will probably answer them. I am generally speaking okay with discussing it, just because I've dealt with it pretty much my whole life, so it's not anything new to me, and I've had time to get used to it, I guess. But until next time, bye.